It's a new day, a new place. Today we're in Zabljak, Montenegro, and we're going to visit Durmitor National Park.
Yeah, this is a really small, cute town here, right next to the mountains. We got here yesterday by 2 buses from Shkodër, Albania, where we were previously. It was an interesting travel day. Traveling by bus here in the Balkans is always a little bit interesting. It seems to me, at least from my perspective, to be kind of a chaotic, confusing mess every time. The bus driver was yelling at people in a language most people on the bus didn't understand, trying to get everyone to do. I'm not really even sure what. They're always smoking on the bus too, which someone had a problem with, and then there was a big argument. I don't know. It's just there's always something interesting happening when you're taking a bus in this region. So
yeah, it was just a typical Serbian driver, but most of the foreigners were really shocked by his behavior. To me, that was just a normal thing, but yeah.
Sometimes for me also it can be a little bit confusing to figure out. Like, for example, in Shkodër, there wasn't really a bus station. Our bus was just picking us up on the side of the road, and they drop you off just on the side of the road there as well. That might just be Albania. And Serbia and Montenegro, so far it seems like there's actual bus stations. But it's always something different.
In some places, especially smaller places, you'll just have a pickup spot where your bus is gonna come. But even here in Zabljak, there's not really a bus station where you can go and buy tickets. So we have to buy tickets online, and we'll just go to a place that is kind of known as a bus station, and the bus will hopefully show up there.
Yeah, basically what you have to do is just ask around in whatever place you're in about how the bus system works, and a local will help you figure it out.
Yeah, that's for sure. Locals will help with everything.
But anyway, today we are walking from the town of Zabljak into Durmitor National Park, and we're going to do a little bit of a hike in there. We've just officially entered Durmitor National Park. When you're following the road here from the town of Zabljak, you'll come to a small ticket office right back there behind me. The entrance is €5 per person per day. They also offer an annual pass for 13.5 euros. We're going to be here 3 days, so for us we were thinking it would make sense to do the annual pass, but they asked us for our passports for that, and we didn't have them with us, and we're not going to go all the way back to the hostel for those, so we're going to just buy a daily pass every day. It's not a big difference in price, so it's fine, but just something to note right away is if you're going to be here for several days and we need to do the annual pass, just remember to bring your passport with you. We've arrived at the Black Lake.
Yeah, or in Serbian, Crno jezero. It's really beautiful here. The mountains and the forest surrounding the lake makes it so beautiful, so peaceful.
Yeah, and this is immediately past the entrance of the park. You just walk down the road from the town of Zabljak here, and you get here within, 10 minutes? So
yeah, it's only like 500 meters from the entrance, so it's really close.
Yeah, very close and very easily accessible with great views. Anyone could get down here. They also have a restaurant up there. There's boats you can rent. You can even swim in the lake if you want to. So far, Durmitor is really beautiful.
But now we will continue. There's 2 more lakes that we want to do today. So we'll take about 8 hours total of the hike to see all 3 lakes. And we will show you how the way to those lakes look like.
Yep, so this is basically the starting point of our hike for today right here. The beginning part of our hike is just going to be a circle around Black Lake here. This part can actually be done by itself. It only takes an hour, and it's on a clear walking path, so really easy. So if you don't want to do anything too intense but still want to get some nice views and enjoy the nature here, this is definitely a great way to do it. But after this, we're going to be continuing on to some portions that are going to be slightly more difficult. Although we did get a little bit sick in Albania. I don't know if you can hear it in our voices, so we're not going to be doing anything too intense, at least for these first couple of days. We're just going to try to take it easy a bit.
Yeah, just to recover from being sick, and then maybe we do something harder. We'll see how we feel.
So this is Snake Lake behind us here. So we've made it to the second lake on our hike today.
Yeah, this lake is pretty quiet, much quieter than the first lake we've seen, and not as many people. The first one had like a lot of tourists, but this one is really quiet, and we've seen a couple tents and a camp area. So this is a perfect spot if you want to come camp and just be in the nature and like in a peaceful environment. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, not quite as picturesque as the first one, Black Lake, but it's been a really nice, peaceful walk through the woods to get here, and yeah, not nearly as crowded. There were a lot of people around Black Lake.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're heading to the third one, which we heard that the way is a little bit harder.
To this point, it's mostly just been a path through the woods. There have been some rocky areas and some muddy areas as well, but been relatively flat and mostly just through the woods. So what we've heard is now we're going to start gaining a little bit of elevation to get to the last one.
Yeah.
So just like in Albania, we're using the app called maps.me, which is for offline maps and has a lot of trails on there. We're using that to navigate ourselves through these trails. They are pretty well marked, but I think it'd be pretty challenging to figure out exactly where we're trying to go right now without it. Walking through the forest was really nice and peaceful, but now that we're above the trees, the views are starting to be really good. We've gotten high enough now that we have a view back down on Black Lake, which is where we started the day. This part is really tricky here, very rocky and steep right on the edge of this cliff. Guys, we made it to the top. The views are amazing. We have a great view of the lake and the mountains behind here. This is labeled as the Zabljak Jezero viewpoint on maps.me, and that is Zabljak Jezero down there, or Zabljak Lake. The scenery is really incredible up here. Feels like we can see forever into the valley and even more mountains beyond. The hike was definitely worth the way up. So beautiful. And I think this was about perfect difficulty for us today after having come back from just another hiking trip. So definitely worth it. So what did you think of the hike?
Really good, really good. The hike was amazing and the views on the top even better. I think I could sit here for hours and just look at the view. Really nice.
Yeah, it really is amazing. Worth it.
So we're back down to the lake. Now we have some different views, still really stunning and beautiful, just a different perspective from down here. And we can also see the top where we were a few minutes ago. It looks really scary from down here, thinking that we were there. But yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, really cool to see it from down here. So now we just have to walk back, which is going to be about 2 more hours from here. And it's not going to be the same way, a little bit of a different path. I think we're going to end up on the road at some point for a lot of the way back. But
yeah, it won't be as interesting as the one we were coming here, but
yeah, definitely beautiful from down here, though, to see these massive cliffs towering above us.
Yeah, so nice. Definitely worth coming here.
For the way back down, we just put our hostel as the final destination in maps.me. So we're just following the fastest way back rather than like seeing any particular points on the way. So it is a different way. We've just come down from the park and the mountains now. So we're going to be following roads like this basically the rest of the way back, it looks like, walking through the countryside here. We're finally getting back into the town of Zabljak here after a very long day. We are completely exhausted.
We're really tired and ready to have a big dinner, but we're still amazed by these views. The sunset with mountains, so pretty.
Yeah, coming down from the mountains, we've seen the most beautiful sunset right over top of them. It's really amazing.
Really beautiful. We're happy we're here.
Good morning, guys. We got
morning.
some much needed rest last night. We were completely exhausted, so it felt really good to sleep.
Yeah. We're really exhausted and really sick after yesterday especially, but apparently we're not the only ones since a lot of people in the hostel are also sick, so it's probably something going on, or our bodies are just exhausted and we're getting sick. But we still decided to do something today.
Yeah, we're still going to try to make the most of our time. It looks like we're not going to be able to do the big hike here up to the peak, at least not on this trip, but we're still going to try to do what we can. So right now we are actually walking to a nearby chairlift, so we can still get up to the top of a mountain while we're here and get some good views. The leaves on a lot of the trees here are just beginning to turn colors. We're here right at the very beginning of September, and the weather this time of year seems perfect. Apparently this is the best time of year to be here and doing hiking, and the views have been really good, especially with the tints of orange and yellow we're starting to see on the trees. So I definitely think this is a good time of year to come here if you're planning on hiking. We made it to the Savin Cook ski lift now. So this is actually going to be two different chairlifts that take us up to the top. So we're going to take one first and then have a short walk to the second one, and that's going to take us to the top.
Yeah, and after the second one we'll actually have to walk at least 18 more minutes to actually get to the top. But yeah, this was much faster than just like walking all the way to the top since we're exhausted.
Yeah.
But these, we paid 10 euros each for like both of the chairlifts to get up and down, so it wasn't too bad. $20, 20 euros total for both of us.
We are on the chairlifts now going up. It's really old and slow, but it's getting us there. We just got off the second chairlift and we have just a short walk up there to the viewing platform.
The guy that's working here, he told us that it's gonna rain soon, so we should be really fast and see the top and then come down. And also the chairlift stops working at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. depends like which one, and so we also have to take it on time while it's still working.
Well, we would have plenty of time until 3, but
yeah,
it's the rain that's gonna
the rain that we have
cut
to
us
be
short.
faster.
So we won't stay here too long, but we're still gonna head up here and see the view. We're at the viewpoint now of Savin's Cook, as you can see in the sign behind us, and it says the elevation here is 2,313 meters, so we're pretty high right now.
Yeah, and Savin's Cook in Serbian actually means Sava's hip, which is kind of funny because a lot of other mountains, like Bobotov Cook, also means someone else's hip, so it's kind of funny how like they gave names by someone's hip, like.
Yeah, everything's named
tops.
after someone's hip here, apparently. It is funny.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that we could see a lot of the lakes here from here. Apparently there's 18 lakes total in this national park, so from here we could see I think only three, but yeah, and yesterday we saw 3 different ones, so we only seen 6 from the total 18, so you need a lot of time if you want to see all the lakes.
Yeah.
Here.
Anyway, it does go a bit further up here, so we are going to try to see if we can go up a little bit higher and maybe see the view of the other side.
So we made it to the top.
Yeah, we're up at the peak now officially, and we have a complete 360-degree view around us. You can see the town down that way, and even bigger mountains back behind us. It's really incredible up here.
Yeah, so apparently you could see a part of Albania, Serbia, and Montenegro from this point.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Really amazing how much you can see. It's like we're on the top of the world here. We got to enjoy the view at the top for a little while, and now it's time to take the chairlift back down.
Yeah, now we'll see better views on everything going down.
Yeah, we're gonna be going like straight down on this chairlift, so the view should be pretty good there too. We're back into the town of Zabljak now from our walk today. We're going to eat. We're going to a restaurant called Podgora right here in town next to the bus station.
Yeah, we were pretty
This one here?
satisfied with food here, so
Yeah, we've actually eaten here every night we've been here so far. This is going to be our third time, so
yeah.
we really like it. It's good food, big portions, not too expensive, and the staff's really nice. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go again. So we got all our food here. The first thing we tried is Kuvana rakia. Rakia is a homemade brandy from this region, and this is the hot version to warm us up a little bit. And we also got, what is this meal called?
Cabbage with meat.
Okay. And the salad with tomato, cucumber, and cheese, and bread.
So we got some dessert, some crepes, sweet crepes, and mulled wine, and we'll enjoy a little bit longer and then go to sleep.
We're back in our room after dinner. So at the restaurant we just ate at, our bill was 21 euros for all that food and the couple drinks that we got, which I feel like is a pretty good deal. I think food in
Yeah.
Montenegro has been pretty cheap, in
It's
my
pretty
opinion.
cheap. A little bit more expensive than Albania, but definitely still really cheap.
Yeah. And we've not shown you the room yet. This is the room we're staying in. Just this, really small. This is the Hiker's Den hostel. It seems to be one of the popular choices here in Zabljak. It's pretty full. And
yeah.
other people on our bus coming were staying here as well. So it's good. I mean, we have a small space here. It's really clean. The bathroom is shared. We don't have our own bathroom.
But we still have a private room, and it's pretty good for people that want to have recommendations from the owners, since they give you the maps with routes and everything, so you're not just wandering around figuring what trail are you gonna take, but they're also like helping you and take you to the trail for the highest peak in the morning.
Yeah.
So it is much easier. And of course, like if you want to meet other people, if you're by yourself, it's really nice so that you can get to know other people and do the trails in the group and not individually. So
yeah, everything we've done here in Zabljak has been their recommendations, including the restaurant we just ate at. So
yeah,
it is nice to have that. This I would not say is so cheap though. 55 euros a night for the room with the shared bathroom seems kind of a lot compared to other places we've been, but it's not too bad.
yeah.
I think you could probably find something more private for a similar price, but then you wouldn't get the recommendations, so it's just a trade-off. We're on to our last day here in Zabljak, and today we are going to go see the Tara River Canyon.
The way to the canyon takes 2 hours walking, or we could bike for 35 minutes, but we chose to walk today. So yeah, it will take us about two hours. We're following the maps.me again, which is taking us a little bit weird roads through someone's property, or like you have to climb the fence to get to the right road, but it's an adventure.
Maps.me has been really helpful here. I'm not sure how we really would have been able to get around without it on all the trails and stuff, but it definitely takes us some strange ways sometimes. Like for example, just now it was trying to take us through a fence right through someone's property. We went kind of a different way than that and still had to pass a private property sign. The guy there was really nice and helped us with directions and all that. So
and he opened the fence for us.
Yeah.
So
it
was fine.
It wasn't a problem, but just be aware that sometimes you'll still have to improvise a little bit with Maps.me. It's not perfect and takes you some weird ways, but overall I would say it's kind of necessary here. You might get lost without it pretty easily, especially on the trails. But anyway, it's gotten us everywhere we've needed to go so far, and hopefully it's going to get us there today too. Maps.me is getting us a little bit lost in the woods now. It shows that we should be following one path that goes straight through these woods, and it says that that's the only path through here, when in reality there doesn't seem to be any straight path through, and there's a bunch of different paths winding all over the place. So we're not really sure which one to choose, but hopefully we're gonna get on the other side of it and back on the road here soon. We'll see. So yeah, like we've mentioned a couple times now, Maps.me can definitely be confusing. Although I think it's still better than nothing, because at least we can still see which direction generally we're trying to go. There's not really any cell service in this area, so using Google Maps isn't really an option. So at least it's nice to have something, but still getting us a little bit lost at times. We made it through the woods and we're just on the road now. I think we're getting close to the canyon. There's a lot of cars driving past us now heading that way, so
Yeah.
we should be getting there soon.
We just decided to follow the map exactly. Like even if there wasn't a path in the forest, we just decided to like cross and go through the trees and all that. So
Yeah.
we finally got to the road.
Yeah, we found the road though, so we're on the right direction now. We've made it to the official start of today's trail now. So the canyon is going to be right up this way, just a little bit of a hike to get there. So this is now the entrance to the national park. So we again had to pay the entrance fee of €5 per person. It's actually good that we didn't end up doing the annual pass that we mentioned, because we've only done the national park 2 days now. So total €10 each, and the national park pass again would have been $13.50. The ski lift we did yesterday was not in the national park, so that's why we didn't actually go to the park 3 days. So it worked well for us that we just got the day pass the 2 days we're doing this. And a lot of people are actually driving to this point and parking to start the trail. And same thing with the ski lift yesterday. A lot of people were driving and parking at that ski lift. So you can actually avoid a lot of the walking we've been doing just to get to the places we're going. If you have a car here, we don't, and we don't mind walking a little bit extra, but just so you know, a lot of people are actually just driving to these places, parking, and then starting from there and saving a lot of walking.
So yeah, we're now at the spot that's like called Panorama, and you can see how we have the whole panorama on the mountains, and we can see just a little bit of the canyon, but we're taking the path to actually get to Churevac, and Churevac is the spot, the actual like viewpoint where we can see hopefully the canyon from there. So we're here at Churevac viewpoint. From above here we could see the Tara Canyon pretty well.
Yeah, there's an amazing view of the river and the canyon below us. The canyon is enormous and so deep. The river is really far down there. This is apparently the deepest canyon in Europe and the second deepest in the world. So it's really cool to see it in person, and it's really stunning to be here. It looks so much deeper in person than we saw in pictures and videos. It's really cool.
Yeah, like just standing here and looking at it, from how big it is, we feel like just so small.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you feel like an ant up here looking down into the canyon there. It is just so far away. We got to enjoy the beautiful view of the canyon for a while, but now it's time to start our walk back to the hostel because we have a long ways to go. It's going to be about 2 hours back. For the way back to town, we're actually using bicycle directions this time, even though we're on foot. We're hoping that's going to prevent us from getting lost in the woods again. It adds only a little bit more distance, but I don't think it'll actually take us much longer, if any longer, since we'll be on more clear roads. So we'll see how that works, if it's going to be a better option here. On our walk back here, we're getting some really good views of the mountains here behind us next to the road. And as we mentioned yesterday, the peaks in the park here are named after hips. The owner of the hostel we're staying at actually told us a little story about that. He said it's an ancient myth around here that these mountains are actually the gods laying down. And when you lay down, your hip is actually the highest point on your body when you're laying on your side. So that's why the peaks here are named after hips. So they all have a name and then hip. So like, for example, Babatov Kuk is Babatov's hip. So we learned that's the reason it's called that way. So just wanted to share that information with you. So we're back to Zabljak now after our walk. We're just going to head back to the hostel now and just get some rest the rest of the night. So this is going to bring an end to our trip here in Zabljak and Durmitor National Park.
Yeah, we really liked Zabljak and Durmitor. There's so many things you can do here. Hiking, biking, rafting. You can even rent the quads and so many other things. We were just really sick, so we couldn't do half of the things we could. And there's also, like, during the winter, you could do winter sports. So we definitely think we'll be coming back to Zabljak since there's so many more things we can do.
Yeah, for sure. We feel like we barely scratched the surface on what there is here. It's a really cool, like, outdoors destination. There's so much it has to offer. Yeah, like you said, we're probably going to be coming back at some point.
For sure.
Yeah, it's just too bad we were sick and couldn't do as much this time, but I feel like we still managed to make the most and see some stuff, get a feel for the area. So I definitely think that this place has a lot to offer. It definitely feels like much more of like a general destination for outdoor recreation versus where we just were in Albania. Was also really beautiful and incredible, but you were sort of going there for one specific reason, which was that big hike. Here there's just like much more variety of things to do.
Yeah, it definitely has a different feeling than Albania. We really liked it. We're definitely coming back, but right now we're just ready to go to the coast. So yeah, the next destination we're going is Budva. So now we're done with mountains and we're ready to go to the beach and rest a little bit.
Yeah, so staying in Montenegro for now, but now we're going to see the coast instead of the mountains. So
yeah,
we will see you guys next in Budva.
Stay tuned.